Another day, another Airbnb trip, this time in Chelmsford. So this was booked for a couple of days and it was literally a tiny little lodge on an island. You would not expect it if you were driving through Chelmsford, and it honestly felt like you were in a different country, although it was still cold. Decided to do some wandering, and the canal was right opposite. It had loads of barges, boats. You could also do water sports like kayaking. You're able to hire boats, and they did trips hourly as well, which I thought was really cute and a good way to see the loch. They also had a tea room, and you could get teas and coffees, pastries, cakes, cold drinks, and this would be perfect in the summer as a little getaway. I also will say, side note, although it looks very pretty, beware of the flies. There were so many flies about, especially at night, so you just have to be careful. This was also a perfect place for dog walks. There's so many different routes you can take, and Cassie really loved it. We also managed to get a lot of exercise in, as you can see. Here's some scenery for you before I show you how to make my plantain shrimp cups. Shout out to Northern FC. Yes Chef is a proud sponsor, and I am repping their current season's kit. I started off by preparing all my ingredients. I had some red peppers, yellow pepper, onion, passion fruit, ginger and plantain. I attempted to cook outside to start with, but the weather was not that good, so here we are back inside getting my plantain ready. I cut it up into quite big pieces because later on we need to fry it and mold it. I then went on to prepare the shrimp. I added some Cajun seasoning, some paprika, salt, pepper, chili and lemon. We needed to keep the mixture quite dry because it will be then nice and crispy. You can also add corn flour to this if you want extra crisp. They were all prepared and ready to go for cooking later on. One plantain went overboard, oops. Then make sure the oil is nice and hot and fry the plantain halfway through. Once it's cooled down a bit, you want to mold it as best you can into a cup. I had to use 2 ladles here because that's all I had. As you know, cooking in an Airbnb with limited utensils is tough, but it can be done. Then I went on to make the salsa. I added some red pepper, red onion, avocado and some coriander. Again, with the seasonings, you can add really what you want here. I went for some Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, chili and lemon, mix that all through. Look at those colors. Then we're gonna go and refry the plantain and get the shrimp cooking as well. Make sure the pan is nice and hot, and then assemble the cups. Salsa, shrimp, and then the secret ingredient of the passion fruit on top. Look at that. I decided to put the flash on here just so you could see it glisten, and look at the beautiful views as well. It was just perfect. Back to heading inside before I get eaten alive by the flies, but here's a sneak peek of a bite. It was yummy. A relaxing morning on our last day, and of course I had to leave my Yes Chef card there just in case. This was such a good getaway. It was perfect just for even a few days. I would definitely recommend. Had a really nice sunny drive back home, and just wondering, where am I gonna go next?